Welcome to the round of 16 with Adam Hoduniecki, Anders Warholm, Carter Thomas, Delshawn Sidhu, Eddie Artsy, Edwin Shen, Eric Kasperek, Jaden Lin, Magnus Lensch, Marcel Politowicz, Mikhail Cerny, Niklas Olsen Eliasson, Reed W. Richardson, Samuel Ackland Hanna, Victor Grisko, and Zaid Chowdhury. Hello everyone, welcome to Clock Cup Season 3. My name is Carter Williams, and this is Magnus versus Reed. It will be a very exciting match, as all of the Clock Cup matches are. And I don't think we have any other reason to delay here, so Reed, you are the better seed. Would you like to go with heads or tails for the coin flip? We'll choose heads, alright. And it's going to be tails. So Magnus, would you like to go first or second? Alright, so I'm going to generate a new scramble. Magnus, you are going first. I will serve it F into both of you. Good luck. And we have started. March Madness may have started today. Well, technically it started a couple days ago. But this is the madness you want to watch right now. So glad Michigan State destroyed Minnesota, I think. But, yeah, other than that, let's get started here. So, big something went wrong with, wait. Okay. This is a DNF by Magnus anyway, so I think I'm just gonna wait for the point here. So the DNF from Magnus just now. Yeah, and Reed should be getting the point here if he solves the clock. Which he does, so we'll get the point. Yeah, there's a disconnect issue. Just put in a DNF. Yeah. Okay. So that's all good and fixed. Yeah. Let's keep this a little buggy today, but yeah, we have 1 point already going to Reed. And this match could get very interesting. Right now, let's look at the chat here. See what the poll is. It's 50-50 with 18 votes. We have 18 viewers, so all the viewers voted. That's awesome. Yeah. Alright, Reed's gonna start. Yep, that's right. Oof. Doesn't look like a great solve from Reed's point of view. 528 from Reed. Let's see how Magnus is going to handle that. This could be a very crucial first point for him if he safeties here. I believe he averages about sub 4, if I'm not mistaken. And if that's solved, which it is from the signal he's giving us, that is going to be a point for Magnus. So 363 from him. That's very good. It's going to be 1-1 right now. That will be the score. So early on, it's a tight match. Eric, how's the arm? Yeah, that's probably why his match is last in the bracket. So Magnus is going to try to take the lead in this point. Oof, that did not look good. I don't know if that was a solved clock or not. But either way, it wouldn't be a great time to enter in. That's going to be a 4:59. Okay, not as bad as I thought it was initially. But we'll see how Reed does here. Reed's warming up with his signature hand, arm shaking, whatever you want to call it. That is something that Reed usually does before his warm-ups. And they usually are very effective. Just look at his results. Man. Alright. Oof, double flip from Reed. This is not going to be good. He actually might have beaten Magnus. Yeah, 432 with a double flip, I believe.
Nice,
or maybe
timer stop there.
Yeah. Okay, so 2-1 is the score right now. But it is still very tight. I think it could still be anyone's game at this point. Just Magnus will have to avoid letting Reed get that early lead. Whoever wins this match will have to face up against Niklas in the semifinals. So a tall order to ask. Yeah. Magnus is warming up with Pyraminx right now. Reed is going to do flip, and it's double flip. Oof, that did not look very good. It's probably going to be around the 5 or the 6 ranges, assuming that it's solved. Okay, doing a dab. 703 is the score. And the Magnus is going to try to safety this. Yep, he solves the backside. So that will be a point for Magnus to keep the game level. Reed has taken the lead 2 times, but only with 1-point leads. And Magnus has yet to take the lead, but this would be his chance to do so right now. And then maybe we could see the game shaken up a little bit. I think Reed is doing warm-up right now, from what it looks like. Yes, he is doing warm-up. So Magnus using one hand to inspect the clock. This looks like a very smooth 7-side will solve. Let's check, make sure that backside solved. Yep, he reacts very calmly. This is in contrast to his last match, which was in the group stage. Did not go over very well with the DNFs. 385 from Magnus. Let's see how Reed does here. The Reed's also watching the stream right now. That doesn't give him any more of an advantage than it would right now. Oh, I think Reed may have just barely beaten Magnus there. 341. Okay, not barely, but still. Reed was asked to beat a 385, and he did so very, very well. Reed's going to be very happy with that. He could try to get a 2-point lead here if all goes well in this next point, but so far it's been back and forth with the points ever since this match was started. So that coin flip option of going first is looking like it's going to actually pay off for Reed and hurt Magnus more. A 434 from Reed. That's beatable for Magnus. Reed is taking the lead. W. Richardson. .433 is actually the time. So if Magnus gets a 434, which I don't think he will, could...
I think I accidentally entered the wrong time. Alright, well it didn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay, so that's going to be the 4th point for Reed, and Reed has finally taken a 2-point lead against the Magnus. But Magnus is catching up. He hasn't fallen out of the race yet. Okay. Do energy drinks make you fast at clocking? No. Actually, I mean, depends on what you consider energy drinks. I mean, consider Gatorade energy drinks? I'm not sure. Yeah, Magnus did not like that solve very much. This is where the road is getting a little rockier. It starts after the early match jitters. It's a 463 from Magnus. And Reed is going to try to beat that 463. I'm not sure which Carter you're asking for, 12 cuber. Oh, that's not going to beat it. Yep. Probably a lockup in the Shi clock there, which is unfortunately, very common. Yeah, that's going to be probably... Yeah, no, that's going to be an 11 from Reed. So, Magnus has made a 1-point lead out of Reed right now. And so far, yep, I think it's going very interestingly. Magnus has a right hand. Yeah, actually, I didn't know that. Just running 7 simul, and I'm having a lot of DNS where the middle 3 clocks are off by 1 row. Do you know what that might be? Yeah, probably. I think it's something... Yeah, I remember getting that before. I'm not sure if you're talking about 7 simul or 7 simul flip. So Reed is solving... Oof, yeah, that backside did not look very good. It's going to be 574, so a chance for Magnus to equalize here. A very crucial chance for Magnus to equalize here, I should say. So Magnus is going to be the one solving on the left. Let's find out what happens here. This looks to be a good scramble with an edge skip. That's going to be very important for reducing that D move, especially in 7 simul. Reed's watching very closely. If he puts up the thumbs up, so that means, from what it looks like, it is not a solved clock, actually. Yeah, that's going to be actually the 5th point for Reed. I think Magnus was doing a thumbs up to signal that he did not solve the clock, which is a little bit conflicting, I should say. But Magnus has the chance to tighten the gap here once again after maybe widening it a little bit more of that DNF. If he had just solved the clock, he would be in the lead, and if he had reduced his DNFs, he would actually have a 4-point lead right now. It would be 6-2 in Magnus's favor without the DNFs, but Magnus just got a 450. So let's see. Reed has yet to get a DNF. This is probably because he does not use 7 simul as his main method. He uses flip as his main method, I believe, or 7 simul flip. I don't know for sure because a lot has changed within the past couple of months of cubing. I haven't sent out a new form to update the competitor statistics. This is going to be a... Oof. It did not look very smooth, but a 431, that's actually going to widen the gap more. 3-6. So Magnus has 3 points to catch up on. Anything can happen in Claw Cup. It is not over yet. 3-6 is a very easy scoreline to come back from, but it would have to happen within the next few solves, I would imagine. Or maybe in the late stages of the game where the competitors are winding down, he could try playing that game. There's some strategy to go with this, and mostly luck, but still a little bit of strategy in this Clock Cup season. So Reed's going to start. So Reed, oof, yeah, very hesitant on the corners possibly from what it looked like. 6:21 is the time. Reed has had a 584 mean, yet it's actually the one leading by 3 points right now. So a lot of strategy to go with that. Possibly because the solves he has lost on are 11, 7, and 5. He has won on a 6, 2 6s, and a 5. Well, not 2 6s, now it's just 1 6. So it's 4-6 right now. That's the score. I don't know why my scoreboard isn't updating, but it's 4. So yeah, 4-6. All right. Magnus. Oh, what was that? It's a 448. Oh, I think it's just this camera froze. I don't know why I got worked up on that time specifically. I think I just looked away and then I looked up and I saw 448. Oh, okay. Read. Oh, wait. No, I thought from the angle you showed it at, it looked like a DNF, but that's the best solve of the match so far. A 329 from Reed. He makes the scoreline 4-7. Let's check an instant replay of that, I think, if we got it. Yeah, we got a little bit of it back here. And yep, that is going to be the 329 that Reed has just gotten. And Reed is going to get prepared here. I think Reed's looking back on that instant replay. Yep. So, Reed shrugs his shoulders a little bit. That's a 368. I wouldn't say that it's impossible for Magnus to get back in here, but I think Reed has showed kind of like a commandment, I guess. He's not been solving very well, honestly, but he's waited it out. And I think Magnus, honestly, has just been solving possibly a little bit worse with the DNFs, and that's really what's making this match maybe not as tight as it would have been on paper. So 4-8, that's the score right now. Magnus is going to solve first on the next solve. The format is first to 15, so whoever gets the 15 points first wins the match. And let's see here. And that's going to be a solved clock. That will be a 5:07. Not maybe the best time to get. Sub 5 would be the benchmark for Reed here on this solve. So Reed is going to start solving. Magnus is humming to himself right now.
Oh, I didn't start the timer.
That's a DNF. That's a DNF.
Yeah.
Okay, so Reed did not start the timer, so it'd be a DNF. Yeah. So it's gonna be 5-8 in Reed's favor, I should say. Magnus has the chance to make the 6-8 if Reed doesn't do well on this next solve. But as you can see there, Even small slip-ups could possibly make the difference to whether this match is a tight win for Reed or an overtime match. All the points are in play here. So Reed's going to go for that adjacent skip and that edge skip in the back. Both of them are on one side, which is always really nice to have. Reed's shaking his head there. It's a 480 on a very easy scramble. I wonder what Magnus is really going to do with this, actually. Because from the 7 simul perspective, I think it might be 6 simul. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it was 6 simul. Ooh, and that's not going to be beating a 480. Yeah, no. So, a golden opportunity has been not seized by Magnus. It's an 847. 5-9 is the score. Reed is going to look to get to the double digits before halftime. Yeah, Magnus is starting right now. Look at the scramble here. It seems to be yeah, nothing too much in the scramble, actually, so I'd be surprised if Magnus can get a good time, which actually it looks like he does. Oh, it could be a DNF though. From the reaction here. Oh, okay, 423 is the score. Let's see how Reed does with that information. So Reed is warming up once again with his signature warm-up. Pulling on the shirt. Okay, the camera froze a little bit in the middle, so it's hard to gauge the time of the solve, but I think that's going to be a 423 from what it looks like. 393. It's going to be 510. Do either of you want a halftime break, yes or no?
No. I'm alright.
Okay, we're going to keep going. So, Reed's going to solve first. After this halftime, Magnus's camera is not working very well, as you can see. Magnus, can you turn your camera on and off? Oh, no, never mind. You got it. No, you got it. So, Reed, oof. Not going, okay, 386. It's decent for Reed, I think. So Magnus is doing some memo right now. Solving the clock. And it might be the 386. I can't really tell. He acted very calmly on that solve. Looks like, oh no, it's a DNF, 371. But it would have been, yeah, Magnus has gotten a lot of DNFs. He's gotten 4 DNFs in the past 10 solves. Or I think 11 solves. So, oof. Yeah, Magnus is not very happy with that solve from what I can tell. It's probably be a 5:04 is the time. So, at this rate, it's safe to say that Reed is going to win the match, but this is a score line that you could come back from. But it just doesn't seem like there's that spark from Magnus' side, especially with the DNFs. I think that's very demotivating for Magnus and his camp. But that's probably going to be the point gone to Reed. That's definitely sub 5. You have a 344. It's going to be 512 right now in Reed's favor. So 3 more points for Reed to submit his ticket to fight against Niklas in the semifinals. Or it could be Magnus if he can come back from this 5-12 scoreline. People have done it in the past before, most notably Samuel Eklund Hanna, a semi-finalist actually, I believe, facing up against Carter Thomas later on in the semi-finals, I should say. Not semi-finals, quarterfinals. 479 from Reed. Yes, Samuel came back from a 5-12 scoreline after almost losing to Oliver Castledine, but he was able to bring it back into overtime, and he was able to win the match. So the camera's frozen right now. Try to beat a 479. He has to beat a 479 to probably fulfill any hope he has left. 392. That's going to be 612 against Reed. Magnus is going to solve again first this time instead of second. He's going to be the one to set the benchmark for whether Reed gets a 13th point or if Magnus will get his 7th point. And Magnus, solid, but not very excited about the flip. So 417, that's beatable for Reed. He wasn't able to beat it on the last solve though. He had a 479. So Reed is probably a little nervous right now. Let's see what happens here. Oof. A little locky. I'm not sure if that's going to do it. He slips his shoulders, but it's going to do it. 613 is the score. So Magnus needs something now, or else it will be never. And he will be knocked out of Clock Cup, and Reed will advance to the quarterfinals against Niklas. To be joined by possibly Marcel or Anders if he's able to beat Niklas, but the Niklas's thing is already a very tall order, I should say. We saw Eddie Artsy try to take on Niklas. That ended 15-2. I think Reed did a shrug mid-solve. That is a little weird. 604 is the score. So this could very well be Magnus's 7th point. And Magnus is doing some 7 simul memo right now. A lot of people use 7 simul in different languages too. I find that very interesting. This is safety, and I believe that will have the clock solved. That's gonna be 445. 713 is what it looks like right now. Magnus just wants to make things interesting. That's what chat's saying right now. We'll find out if he does make it interesting. I don't think it's been that much more interesting, but we'll see. It's been more of a back and forth in terms of points. Before Reed went on a 4-point streak, which was just a little bit ago. First moves don't look great, but the second half of the solve looked really good. That could be a very good time for Magnus. It's a 360. A tall order for Reed to fulfill. We'll find out if he does as soon as he stops warming up with his Shengshao clock, from what it looks like. Not Shengshao, Lingao. Putting it away. I don't know why he's warming up with a Lingao clock, if all things. So, Reed warming up, taking the time he needs. If he wins this point, then it will be match point. If Magnus wins this point, the gap shrinks a little bit. That's not going to be a free... Oh, it is! He has the fists. And it's a free 52. And Magnus is in shock. I could tell from that gasp. And that's going to be match point for Reed. So Magnus will have to win the next 7 solves in a row if he wants to stay alive. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Unless something interesting happens. Anything interesting can happen in Clock Cup. But this just doesn't seem like one of those days. Magnus has not made has not actually taken the lead at all during this match. But Reed is not going to make this a very solid benchmark for what it looks like. A 591, celebrating a little bit. I think out of sarcasm here. For the Magnus, this could very well be a goodbye, or maybe a consolation point. 591 is very easy to beat unless something happens here. If he checks the backside, he gives a thumbs up, which might actually signal a DNF, if anything. Yep, DNF. That's going to be 15-7 as the final score. Reed will win this match and head to the quarterfinals against Niklas. Congratulations to the both of you. That was a very fun match to watch. It was back and forth at the start, but I think Reed was the one who took the leads, and that eventually led to the win today. So thank you, and congratulations to Reed. Let's get started. What were your guys'...
Can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Magnus, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Okay, now you can. All right, so what were your guys' thoughts about that match?
Yeah, that was quite an awful performance from me, and yeah, that's all I have to say pretty much.
If I'm gonna be honest, I was just kind of trying to have fun in that match, and I think I succeeded in the most part for that. And then another thing I noticed I was doing is that I allow myself to just not think about the time I had to beat, which I think definitely helped me in the long run.
Yeah. So, Reed, you actually never got a clock DNF. This match. You only had that one DNF because of that timer start. So, what?
Yeah.
How did you improve on maybe not getting the DNFs? Is it particularly because of the methods you use, or have you been deliberately practicing that?
I think part of it might come from the method, but then I guess, yeah, I mean, I guess more of it is just working on that. But I'd say mostly the method, because I found that most of the time when I was my potential DNS were just memo mistakes, which I just went back and fixed. I noticed before I stopped the timer, which is why I may not DNF as much.
Right. Magnus, so on the contrary, unfortunately, you had, from what it looks like, 6 DNFs this match. So what so how did you that's definitely not necessarily the advantage to be had. So what could have possibly attributed to that performance, and do you have any plans to possibly maybe improve on that in the future? Do you think it's just inherently because of the method you use? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I haven't practiced clock in 2 months, so my success rate is awful right now, but I don't really care that much. Next match would have been against Niklas, so I would have lost either way. Yeah, and I could probably practice a bit more and make safer turns, especially on the last turn, which are the most of my DNFs. I think one DNF was because I memoed a 5 as a -5, and I had one face jump, but the rest were pretty much all on the last move. I think one time I did 4 instead of 2 as execution for slash move.
Right. Okay, so my final questions to the both of you. Reed, you're going to be facing up against Niklas, so that is a very, very exciting competitor, but also a very fierce competitor. He is heavily favored to win Clock Up this season. Do you think you can take him down? And if so, or if not, what is your strategy going into that match?
Honestly, I'm pretty sure I'm just dead in the water, so I'm just gonna try to have fun in that match as well. That's my strat.
Okay, and finally, for Magnus, do you have... Okay, wait, sorry. Let me rephrase this. What was your favorite Clock Cup moment? And, do you have any last words before we end off the stream for tonight?
I didn't really have a favorite moment. Like, one thing I vividly remember was that my best serve I got in Clock Up was a 3.2, I think, still lost. And yeah, that's all I have. I don't really have anything to say.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're just going to end it off right there. So thank you all for watching. Thank you to Magnus for competing. But unfortunately, this is where the road ends for you. For Reed, we will see you against Niklas later on this month, hopefully. And we will see Jaden versus Eric, which is the final match, hopefully on Sunday. We still got to get those details out. Eric, Jaden, please help me schedule it. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you all later.